So I recently just got my PS2 and I had the Wii for a while now. The issue was when I plugged it in, it seemed that the quality just wasn't as good as it was when I was younger. It could be possible that I just overestimated how good the quality of the image was when I was younger. I did some searching online and saw a bunch of ways to improve that. One thing that they mentioned was try using an HDMI, like a Wii to HDMI or a PS2 to HDMI, or I could use a component cable. Now I have a composite cable already. Doesn't look good with my projector. That's what I've been using, but it's no good. So I bought a couple things. Oh. I think one of them's, it's all written in Chinese, but I think one of them is the Wii one. We'll find out soon. This looks like the PS2 one. This should be the Wii one. Oh, it has the Wii colors on it. I'll clean this up later. That goes into the Wii. And these are our component cables. Now I'm gonna be honest, I don't know which is which. Two of them are supposed to be for audio and the rest of them are supposed to be for video. One of them is supposed to be for brightness, one of them is supposed to be for color. So apparently it gives more information to your TV, or in my case, my projector. Now on top of this, I also have another thing to compare to the Wii, a Wii to HDMI, which let me bring that. So here's the Wii to HDMI. It's inverted. Side goes into the Wii. This I got from a liquidation store called Crazy Bins in my city, and it was just sitting there. It was a $1 day, so I got this for $1. No box, no nothing, but I thought worth a try. This is not like the famous one. Like if you search up Wii to HDMI, you'll see like a very specific, I think it's blue colored. So this is not, obviously not that one. But this is interesting. It says, I don't know if you can read this, full HD 1080p. Highly doubt that. I don't know if Wii games are 180p. I think, sorry, 1080p. I think they go up to, I think they just do 480p or 480i. I have no idea what that is, but we're going to try this out. We're going to try, obviously the composite, which is already plugged in. We'll try the component and the Wii to HDMI. All right, so everything's plugged in. Right here is the Wii to HDMI. Component cables, and then composite cables right there. There's yellow, white, and red. Okay, so I got everything fired up. This is what it looks like. Very pixely. I know I'm close to the screen, but not a huge fan of it. Like when I saw this, very bright. I don't know. It just gave me an off feeling, and I felt like it wasn't exactly how it was when I was younger. So that's what I was basically trying to fix. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was really this bad and I just don't remember. But I guess we'll find out soon. To be completely honest, it looks much better on the video. But if you kind of get close, you can see the letters blurring a little bit. In person, it looks very bad. So I'm kind of holding the camera while I'm playing. Yeah, I just hate how it just looks way better in the video than it does in real life. But anyways, we're gonna try connecting the component and we'll see how that looks. Okay, now this looks slightly better. Let's try starting a game. So the game won't work for some reason. So that I'll troubleshoot later, but just looking at the main menu, I can actually read everything clearly. And I'm just gonna cut directly just from this position back into the composite so you can see. The words are a little bit more blurry. This video, I realized that iPhone enhances things, so you can't really tell very well, but I feel like you can still see a subtle difference. Especially this forecast channel. That's where I notice the most difference because the letters are actually written quite thin. But things are a lot less blurry with the component. Overall, the component's a lot better. So now I'm gonna switch to the HDMI. Let's see how that is. The HDMI is I think is much better than the composite, but I don't know. I can't tell. Like, I want to say it's worse than the component, but let's switch back to component and see how it compares. It's a lot brighter with the component. It's much clearer too. I personally think component's a lot better, but if you didn't tell me if it was component or HDMI, I probably wouldn't know the difference. Like, I probably wouldn't notice it at first glance. They're pretty close, but both are definitely better than composite. I'm glad I got these cables now. Overall, I think I would rather stick with the component cables. I feel like I'm getting a lot more out of it. The colors are a little bit more bright. The words are readable. I would definitely choose this over either HDMI or composite. But then the second best would be the HDMI, and then composite would be the last. I'm not exactly sure the reasoning behind one being better than the other. My understanding is that the component cables give a lot more information to your TV or projector, whereas the composite cable kind of have one pin is for video and then the two pins are for audio, I think left and right audio, whereas the component cables give 3 pins for video. I think one of them gives information on brightness, one of them gives information on color. I'm not entirely sure, but it kind of gives more information to the TV projector. If I'm wrong, just let me know. I could be wrong. I'm not very educated on these things. Another thing I heard was that the composite cables aren't terrible as long as you have an older TV, like a CRT TV. But if you're using it with some of the modern TVs or projectors, it's gonna come out bad. But I'm happy overall. Another thing to keep in mind is that I didn't have the very famous Wii 2 HDMI, the blue one, so I'm not entirely sure how that would compare with this, but I don't care about comparing it. I'm happy with my component cables. It's giving me the graphics and the quality that I remember from back in the days, but I'm glad I figured it out because the graphics I was getting was almost unbearable. It was just bad. So I'm happy with the component cables. Again, it's not going to upscale anything. It's just going to, be a lot more clear. The words are going to be a lot clearer. I noticed this issue with my PS2 as well. So at some point I'll probably compare the different cables for the PS2 because my PS2 is giving me terrible graphics and terrible quality right now. So that is another thing I have to troubleshoot. So that will probably be the idea for the next video most likely.